Hey everybody, if you'd like to turn your digital images into pieces of art like paintings or sketches, something like this, and also like this, and also like this, and one more like this. Are we ready for this? We're going to use an FFS software to do this kind of work. Are we ready? Let's do it. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to the channel, this is dedicated to photography, and as a photo artist, constantly trying to push ourselves creatively out of the box to do some different type of work. All right, with this out of the way, let's jump into my rant, I guess, and that is I got so frustrated with trying to figure out techniques to create a painting effect off one of your digital images using AI in Photoshop. And every time I figured out something, it worked for a while, and then it didn't work because Adobe would update their software, and all of a sudden that technique didn't work. And of course, who gets slammed on that? Not Adobe, me. And I've gotten some nasty emails, and I'm not going to go there, but everything from just a total waste of my time, you should have known better, blah, blah. Well, how do I know what Adobe's going to do, right? AI is a new technology. So I figured out another way of doing it, and the same thing happened. It worked for a while, but as soon as a major update happened with Photoshop, that technique didn't work anymore with AI to convert your digital image to look like a painting. And it just really got frustrating. So I go, forget it. I'm not going to even attempt this anymore. I'm on a search for a software. Now, if you don't know what an FFS software is, I have to be very polite about it, and it stands for frickin' free software. Okay, so I was on a hunt for something, and I found something that I found out it's been around for a while, and it's called Photo Sketcher. So let me open this up, and then I'm going to give you the ins and outs of this. I have tried to make this crash, by the way. I can't make it crash. Okay, so free's a good price, but I'm impressed with the author of this. We'll talk about that in a minute. But let me come down here to open up the software, and let me tell you a little bit about it as it opens up. And that is, thought I hit it. Maybe I didn't. There we go. This is recorded in the middle of December, and I know you're going to see this in the middle of January. The reason is I'm traveling throughout the holidays. I don't have time to do the videos. I had to get ahead a little bit on this. So that's number one. But here's what happened to me. I downloaded this software in the beginning of December, and I was playing around with it. I was trying to make it crash. I was really, really impressed. And I found out, wow, there was previous versions of this. So this has been around for a while, and there's been some really updates. And what has been updated, I don't know, because I didn't use earlier versions, right? So when I found this, I go, okay, I'm going to record this and share this with you guys, because again, it's free. It's awesome. As soon as I opened it up to start, I got a flag that came up and basically said, there's a new update for the software. I'm thinking, I just had it for a week, and now it's updated already. So I was impressed. So what improved, I don't know, because again, I'm new to this. I'm going to share some my thoughts with it. But this is the interface, this is what it looks like, and they give you a sample image. And obviously, we don't want to work with a sample image. Now, before I get into using this, let me share with you where you can find this and download this. And that is, if the software is, well, you wouldn't have the software, so go to photosketcher.com. I'll have the links in the show notes. But if you're in the software, like I am, I think if I click on this, this shows me the version, which is the latest, 3.97. My original one was 3.8 something. So I'm going to close out of that. But I'm going to go to the help feature right here. And under help, it just says, hey, you're leaving the program. That's fine. Just open up in the browser. Now, when you get to Photo Sketcher, let me click here on the icon. So if you do a search for, again, the link will be in the show notes, but photosketcher.com, right up there, you're going to see a lot of garbage all over the place, advertising. You got to be careful. You don't want to click on something that's really not what you're supposed to download. So my suggestion is you go over here where it says download, ignore what you see on the screen, click on that, And that will open up this interface for you to download it. Now, again, you want to download the full version. It's free. Notice what it says. It's for Windows only. Okay, hang on, Mac people. He is working on a Mac version. In fact, if you dig deeper into his website, he'll tell you about it. And maybe if you log in here with a Mac, with your browser, and that it identifies it's a Mac computer, and it'll show you where you can download that. But it's something that is being worked on. That's important to me because I know most of my audience is Windows-based, like I am. But I used to use a Mac years ago. I don't use it anymore, so I can't hunt and find stuff because I don't have a Mac anymore. So please, Mac people, do me a favor, and that is if you would share with the group, if you would go here and see if you could find the download for the Mac version of the software and report back, maybe share it with other people. Even though, again, I know that most of the people are on Windows, but still, I think it's important to always support both platforms. Okay, so with that out of the way, this will just lead you to downloading and stuff. If you go to the home page here, or actually gallery, let me show you real quick at some of the work. And again, be careful under gallery here because you get all these pop-ups that come up. I want to close out of this. Let me go to this image right here. And let's get rid of these things if we could. So we just focus on the image. Well, that's going to stay there. I'm not going to waste my time on this. Okay, so let's look at the images. There's this look. There's that look, right? Very abstract on that one. You saw this on my intro. But look at the variations of things you could do with this software. And again, it's totally free, and it's got some cool features. So I'm just scanning through these so you can see the different, genres, everything from, flower photography, still life, landscape, portraits, whatever, architectural. There's a lot of variations of things that you can get into. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's jump into the software and start to use it. So when you open up the software, this is the interface. You get a sample image. And obviously, we want to work on our own image. So the way you do that is you go over here to the upper left-hand corner to that little icon, click on this, and it'll let you navigate, go find an image. So I'm going to use this image here called the still life. I've used this in the past before, and that will open up again in the software. This automatically opens up. We'll talk about the parameters here in a minute, but I'm going to close out. In case it doesn't open up, you go over here to the palette, looks like a painter's palette. Click on that, and that opens up that dialog box. Okay, so let's take a look at the different areas that are available to us. One thing is, let's start at the very top, pencil sketch effects. Okay, if I click on the triangle there to open that up, what I like is when you hover over this, it shows what the effect looks like with this preview. Now, not of your image, but of the its standard image, so you have an idea what that looks like. So there's some sketches. How about pen and ink sketches? Let's take a look at this. So a couple different styles right there. That's pretty cool. Let's go down to here, painting effects. I'm going to use one of these, but I just want to show you that as you hover over this, it shows you the different variations, and then you can modify these variations, which is really cool. Okay, let's close out of that. Let's go to stylize effects. You have like colored dots, cartoon 1, cartoon 2, emergence 2, linear halftoning, and abstract. Check out abstract. Is that ever cool, right? Okay, let's take a look at miscellaneous. And there's, if you want to add some vivid, saturation, there's a vintage type look and stuff over there. And then there's another category we'll talk about later, and that's called no effect. When would I use no effect? Well, there's a drop-down menu there. We're going to actually add like frames, textures, and text in the no effects category. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's jump into working with this. Now, I love the before and after. This is our source image. This is what it will look like afterwards when we apply something. So I'm going to go to the painting effects, and I'm going to come down to, expressive brushes like that, number 8, and click on this to accept it. And it actually, you got a little preview here of that effect. Now, maximum brush size. Watch what happens. I'm going to make this bigger. And this makes it a little bit more, as I move that up, a little bit more loose and abstract. Number of brush strokes, 25. I'll keep that there. Brush precision, if I pull it back to the left, you can watch what happens there. Again, less information. This is a little bit more tighter, I believe. No, this is more abstract as I push that to the right. Okay, a level of contrast. I want to move the contrast up or down. Totally up to me. Let's move it down so you can see the difference. Slight difference. Let's push that up a little bit more. Okay, and in levels of detail, if I push this to the left, it'll re-render. And by the way, suggestion, you want to have an image that's 100 resolution. You don't want to have a high resolution because SketchesNet is on the loose side. And you can use a higher res image, but it'll take longer to render out. And it might be too much information or too much detail, and you want a little bit more abstract and looseness in the image. So I would convert that image and change it to like 100 resolution, and it'll help process it faster, but it makes it a little bit more loose. Okay, once I'm happy with this in the preview, if I click on Draw right here, watch what happens on the right side. It's going to take what I did with my sliders and apply it to the right side. Okay, very loose. And that is done. Now, here's what's really cool. Because this is the source image still, if I go to No Effect and I click on a manual brush, when this opens up, let me move this over here, this is 100% opacity. This slider here is the size of the brush. So I can make it smaller, bigger. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. This is the opacity. I'm going to pull this down. You can see as I move to the left, it's like it goes away or very hardly anything there. I'm going to have a little bit showing there because that allows me to go and paint in an area that I would like to bring in a little bit more detail. If I had the slider all the way to the right, like this, it's going to bring in 100% of the detail. And my choice, I don't want that. I want this to be somewhat loose. So I would push this down a bit, and then you could cherry pick where you want to add, again, a little bit more detail. So this is really cool. So it allows you to go into certain spots and apply a little bit more detail in the areas that you would like to have it. Maybe you don't even want any details anywhere. You want it to be loose and abstract. Perfectly fine. That's perfect. So I'm going to close out of that. Don't need that anymore. So I love the fact that you could do that. Let me just do a couple more here. Okay, and I'm going to close out of that. Now, check this out. I'm not going to go to other things. He's got some tutorials for you that you can do some other really cool things like copy this over here, paste it to the left side. That will now be my new source image. You know what? Let's do it just so you can see what's happening here. I'm going to close out of this. And I'm going to choose this icon right here that says copy drawing to clipboard. So now when I clicked on it, it's copying that to the clipboard. And now if I go over here, paste image to clipboard, from clipboard, I should say. And what it just did was it pasted, let me move this down a bit. Oops. Okay, it pasted the painting from here to here. So this is my source one. This is important because if I go over here to like miscellaneous effects and I want vivify, and I'm going to, let's say, push the contrast up a bit. So you can see this on YouTube. Push up that saturation. So again, it's applying that information on this, which is now my source image. If I didn't copy and paste over this image to the left side, it would be the regular image. And when I choose draw, I would lose all my painting effect. Hopefully that makes sense. So my painting effect now is there. It's applying this to the painting effect, the source one. So when I click on draw, there you go. You can see, let me close out of this. You can see now it applied that now to the right side. That's shown on his tutorials. So I just wanted to throw that in. So that's a little bit too aggressive for me, but hopefully, I made my point on how you could do that. Now check this out. Let's go back over here, and I'm going to go to down here at the very bottom. There's something called texture. And if I click on this, it opens up that you can actually scroll through different textures. You'll see texture 4 right there. This is texture 3. I'm going to go back to 4. This is 5. It previews this. I'm going to use this one right here. And one of the things you can do is I'm going to push this up so I can really see that texture. So really see the grain there. And that way, when I click on, again, draw, it's going to apply that texture over here on the right side. I'm still going to come down here and check this out. I'm going to add a frame, like a simple white frame. Now you can change the color, you can change the size, but I'm going to click on OK. This is show you the frame. So when I click on draw, I'm applying that frame. Isn't that nice? All right, now let's get a little bit more creative. I'm going to turn this off, the frame, and I'm going to click on it again. And now the frame dialog box opens up, and I'm going to go to a drop-down menu, and you got all these different choices. How about realistic frame? Look at this. If I scroll through, this is frame 11, frame 10, frame 9. I mean, I'm changing these right there. So I'm not going to waste time going through every single one. Let's just go to frame 12. And you know what? The color of the mat, let's go here and let's make it, this color right here. And then click on OK to accept that. And then click on OK. And if I choose draw, there we go. Let me pull back on that. Is that awesome? How about this? In the dialog box, add text. Now, remembered my last text, which I just put in Stephen Photo Artist. You could change the font by clicking on this, and this will open up, go through, change your fonts, the font size, that kind of stuff. I'm going to leave mine alone there. It's showing it right here. I'm going to click and drag to push this down right there. You could change the color of that. You could add a shadow or not on the text. I'll leave the shadow on. And then just click on OK. So there's a finished product right there. Is this software awesome? And it's free. So let's show a little love here, okay? And that is the coffee mug right there. Click on this and then click on donate right here. And this will go to the website, and it goes to a spot where you can donate to David. I think David's done a great job. Let's show him some love. You don't have to do a monthly donation unless you want to. But there you go. Donate with PayPal or donate with a debit or credit card. I think this person has done an awesome job. And again, if you guys are learning anything, if you can do me a favor, and that is like the video, subscribe to if you have not subscribed, and hit that notification bell. If you have any questions on this, my email address is right here at the bottom of the screen. It's stephenphotoartist@gmail.com. It also is in the show notes. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can go to Stephen Photo Artist, at buymeacoffee.com/Stephen Photo Artist for a donation. So I appreciate the ones that have been doing that. Okay, Mac people, just as a reminder, please go to the website and do a search and find and see if there is a download for you that's in a beta version or something. But he is working on a Mac version of this software, and I'd like to know the status of that. If you could share that with the group, that would be awesome. Okay, so with that out of the way, hope you guys had a good time with this. Hopefully you have a great 2025. Until next time, see ya!